Welcome
Back.
to the TAE Time Podcast. It's been a hot minute for us, not for you, because we pre-recorded the last few episodes, but we're back. We're actually recording this on the day of, so we're actually on schedule now. We're actually seeing you live in action. How does that make you guys feel? How does that make you feel? But we came back. I put on the colors because I guess you can guess what time it is. We're going to give you a little discussion about
Afronation.
Part two. Second time, probably last time.
It's crazy that we did an episode last year on this as well. So it's a whole year later.
Yeah, so we can give you the full rundown. Not just one time experience. We can give you the experience twice. As I said.
Except without the Rolling Loud.
Yeah. Fuck the Rolling Loud. Did you see that Lil Durk, YG, and I can't remember who the last person was, canceled the night of, and they couldn't get replacements. So everyone on their Instagram was commenting, being like, "Oh yeah, no one showed up," like bloody blah, and "Oh, this sucked." And it was the last day as well, the Friday, so the biggest day or whatever.
Oh,
and they didn't show up. We were like, this is shit. Give us a refund, whatever. There is people, some people who literally bought tickets just for Little Durk, XYZ, Y, blah. So yeah, that's
I mean, I think, it is unfair to go somewhere to expect an artist and then they don't show up. But at the same time, they can't guarantee every artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's such a big number of artists that are meant to be there for the whole 3 days.
Yeah.
Shit can hit the fan.
Yeah, literally, flights. And they even respond to someone's comment being like, yeah, it was too late last night that we learned that they couldn't get flights for someone else to fill in the gaps. And it happens, that's one thing that you have to be wary of in festivals, that some artists that you might come from might not show up. So obviously, if you want to see that person, you should just go to their concert. Yeah. But obviously, that's not an accessible thing for everybody. For example, in Dublin, in Ireland, we weren't getting artists for the longest time. And we still don't even get big artists, Whereas in the States, obviously, you can see them anywhere. In Europe, it's only in festivals you really get to see. So when you miss out, you miss out.
Yeah, but at the same time, because it did happen even with Afronation as well, that some artists that, didn't show up. The way that the Rolling Loud or Afronation deal with it is just a little weird to me. They just say nothing, not even anything afterwards or whatever, unless people are complaining, then they might make a statement with Rolling Loud. But otherwise it's just, let's just move on.
Yeah, definitely, it's one of those things that's kind of iffy about how it goes, but you just have to move on. But anyway, how was your Afronation?
Well, it started off pretty bad because our groups of friends we all had different flights. So some were with Aer Lingus, some with Ryanair, some at an earlier date. We were the only ones that booked, will I expose them?
TAP.
Yeah. TAP Portugal?
No, it's I'm pretty sure it translates in Portuguese to Portugal's airline or some shit like that. Or the airline Portugal or whatever. So
whatever they're called, guys, just don't bother. Just don't bother, because we were we were so excited, whatever. We were meant to actually leave before some of our friends, and our flight, after waiting for our boarding time, that passed. Our closing time passed. We weren't told anything. It was really unprofessional. And then it'll be information at whatever time, which was already past our flight
past
time.
The boarding time.
So we're waiting. Fruit goes up and it's flight canceled. What?
Last thing you want to hear.
What? Not delayed, not go to a different gate, just canceled.
Flight canceled.
So that was really bad.
Yeah, I know. So they canceled our flight, and then I was like, all right, so what's the story? Are we going to get a new thing? Or whatever, because I was talking to them. And then they're like, you just have to call them, and they'll try to sort you out, whatever, XYZ. So for literally an hour, we thought our flight was canceled. Mm-hmm. Right? And then our other friends were at the airport, obviously, because they were leaving too. So we went over to them. And then while Nicola was talking to them, I was on the phone, trying to see wagons. Yo, are we coming? Can we get another flight? Can we get whatever? Because obviously we booked the com. We need to get there today, on the Monday, So I was there's no way I'm not getting there today. So And then they're really bad. Like, they weren't telling us shit, but like most airlines are, like, you know, for stuff like that, like the airport is not the place where they really give you information. But then on the board, our flight was still there. It was meant to be 5:35, and then it was still there, and then it changed to saying that rescheduled or delayed till
9 something. Oh, 10 something.
10 something. It was like a 5-hour delay anyway, like 10:40. Yeah, it was a 5-hour delay. So it was like to 10:45 instead. So on 5 hours and 10 minutes. And then we're like, fuck, okay. We're not even sure if it is true because they told us the flight was canceled. Not this thing on the board is saying that it's delayed for 5 hours and 10 minutes. And so I just stayed there anyway. I called them on the phone to be like, yo, Wagwan, like, what's the story with this flight? It's here it's telling me it's delayed, but the people who work here said it was canceled. So what's the story? Someone has to be saying the truth here. So and then the person on the phone is like, oh, sorry, it hasn't even updated on our system, so we didn't even know your flight was canceled. And I was like, fuck.
Oh, what a mess.
You know, I was like, this is jokes. So I was like, so your system hasn't been updated, so you don't even know whatever. He's like, yeah, you're just going to have to wait. An hour goes by, and it's confirmed that our flight is delayed, right? So if you were, like, we're lucky because we live literally 10 minutes by the airport, so we just said, fuck it, let's just stay. Imagine you're someone who's from far or someone, whatever, and you're like, all right, that's a wrap. I have to, like, get whatever. Like, you know, it's canceled. You might have left, whatever, and next thing you know, you find out your flight's delayed ages after. So that's crazy on its own, one. But so our flight is delayed, but it means that we're going to miss our connecting flight because it's to Lisbon, and then from Lisbon to Faro is what we have to go to. You know, Faro is for where we're trying to get to because we're going to Portimao, so we have to take a taxi from there. So I'm, like, on the phone being like, hey, so what's the story with our second flight? They're like, oh, since it's only been updated, we don't have anything for you yet, blah, blah, blah. If you want, you can get a refund. I was like, no, I don't want a refund. I need to get to freaking Faro today.
Portugal. Like.
I need to be there today. And then they were telling me all these stories, all these wagons, and I was like, yo, I don't really care. Just let me know when you can do anything. Yeah. Like, obviously, but I'm being nice about it because, like, I know it's not their fault. Yeah. But I'm like, you guys are not really giving me any information to work on. Like, you're not telling me anything. So, like, please just, like, give me something. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, all right, cool. You know, and nothing happens. And then eventually another hour goes by. So it's like 3-4 hours by now, nearly time for our flight. And then they text us right before our flight. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no. They text us an hour and a half before our flight to be like, yo, your connecting flight is not going to be on the Wednesday. Mind this, we're getting there. This is Monday. They said Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the evening to get there for midnight. The festival starts on Wednesday morning.
Yeah. Well.
Or afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you want us? And then I called them to be like, hey, you guys said there's no connecting flight until Wednesday. None. Zilp. Nothing. So you now are telling me, oh my God, that you're telling me I have to wait till Wednesday, miss 2 nights of my accommodation, and then miss a whole day?
And mind you, you know, Farouk was like, oh, so, okay, if we do stay in Lisbon, are you going to pay for our accommodation for 2 nights or what? And they're like, no.
Yeah, and they're like, no. We give you new flights, so that's on to you. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? That makes no sense. Obviously, like, it's not my fault that I'm stuck in Lisbon till Wednesday. So obviously you guys need to, like, reimburse me for accommodation, at least if I'm going to take that flight. They're like, no.
My only thing at that point was just bring us to anywhere in Portugal. Bring us anywhere and we'll find a way. Some way, somehow, we'll take a train, we'll take a boat, whatever it is, like, we'll just find a way. And when it was time for a delayed flight time, we actually got on and we were able to leave, luckily. And I was just so happy that we were just able to get out of Ireland because there's no other way out of Ireland other than flight. So it was just like, get us out. And once we landed in Lisbon, there was a whole, like, some people that were on with us also going to Faro were told they had a flight at 4 p.m. We were told ours was on Wednesday. So it was just like
those are people who already had their flight at 4 p.m. So they already had a flight for 4 p.m. So we were like, okay, that means the flight at 4 p.m. Because I specifically asked on the phone, hey, there's a flight at 4 p.m. Can we get on that flight? They're like, no, you can't. It's fully booked.
Yeah.
They told us it was fully booked.
Yeah.
That we can't get on that flight. That the only flight available for us who missed our flight is Wednesday. And I was like, all right, screw that. I'm just going to get a refund for this later. And then we took a €161 Bolt from Lisbon to Portimao, right? Which is actually kind of crazy if you think about it, because all our friends paid €110 from Faro to Portimao, which
like
is
just from that airport.
Yeah, which is an hour more. So it's crazy that we actually spent that much. But anyway, so that's what we had to do. We got a Bolt for that much. It would actually probably been cheaper on Uber for some weird reason. I don't know why Uber was cheaper this time than Bolt, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, so that was the thing. We were just there, and then literally an hour or so into our journey. So this would be about 2 hours after we had landed.
Yeah.
Okay. After we had landed, note this, 2 hours after we had landed, they then messaged me being like, hey, we put you in the 4:00 flights. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? You said the flights were fully booked.
Wednesday.
You said Wednesday was our only option, so we had to take this. And then also you're telling us this at 3:00? An hour before the flight is meant to take off? What the hell is this? So I was like, yeah, no. Like, we're already in this taxi. I'm not telling this guy to turn around for a flight we're going to miss.
No.
So we go, and obviously, like, I'm still in the process of trying to get the money back, because it's insane that they were even able to do that to us. Let me not lie. So, but we move on still.
Yeah, to conclude, TAP Airline, whatever it's called, is just, I wouldn't book them again. It was completely my fault booking them as well, just because it was a cheaper alternative. But I wouldn't book them again. Although the flight was actually quite nice, because it had like, I've never seen a flight that had two seats.
Oh, it was one of the old planes.
You know, the old ones? That was quite nice.
I think they used the old planes because that was the only plane they could get at the last minute, to be honest. I don't think it's because they actually wanted to use that plane, you know.
Fair enough. But we got there eventually. We were able to check in. All our friends were already there. We were all ready to party.
They've already been chilling for hours, you know. More of the story is, trust the devil, you know. Ryanair is always better to go with than
Ryanair's never disappointed like
other,
that. You know what I mean?
Wizz Air, TAP, any of those like other budget airlines. Just go with the one devil, you know.
What if they want to sponsor us? What if TAP
I don't give a fuck. I don't want your money after what you did to me. Let me not lie.
Actually, give me the money for compensation.
Yeah, like, compensate me. Thank you.
But yeah, then we were in Portimao. How was your stay?
So in Portimao, it was pretty cool. We were like, so me and my boys were literally on the strip at the very end of the strip. Anyone who knows how that strip looks like, at the very end near the Spar, that's where we were. It was pretty cool. Like, you know, our AP was really nice. We had 2 bedrooms, 2 double beds and 1 single bed. You know, so like those in one room, there was a double bed and single bed. And I just messaged your boys like even before, and I was like, anyone that's sleeping in that single bed, get off right now, because that bed isn't mine. I'm not sharing that bed with no one. So I took the single bed for myself for the whole trip, and then they shared the double beds, you know, wagons. They maneuvered that however they needed to maneuver that. But so our AP was actually really nice. It was one of those things, had like 2 balconies, whatever. Actually 3. We just never used the back one. So it had 3 balconies. It was really nice, really good location. Would recommend it. Yeah. How about you girls?
Yeah, firstly, you're welcome, because I found that accommodation. And I booked it for us girls, but some dropped out and went to a different place, and they took it. Anyways,
it technically wasn't the same one.
It was
by the way.
the same building and everything.
It was the same building, not the same one.
I directed you to that location. But then our one, I felt like, was a lot nicer. It was a lot more homey, and it was quite big. We had 2 bedrooms or 2 double beds, so there was only 4 of us, and we were right like at where the festival was. So if we looked out the balcony, we could see who was playing, you know, which is
pretty breezy.
But it's so cool. It'd be like, okay, are we late? Are they on schedule? Are they late? When should we actually head to the festival? So that was super, super nice. We had a really nice area. The girls had a little like surprise for us when we arrived, you know, for our engagement. So it was like a little party, which was so sweet. So thank you, girls. And that was really sweet. And then on the first night, we were like, let's just de-stress after everything. Let's get like dressed up and like head out. So we met up with the guys afterwards.
Yeah, no. So like definitely, I would say second time around, the festival, I think because we knew wagons and everything now, it was definitely a lot easier to maneuver and everything. You know, you didn't have to figure out like what place is good to eat, what place, whatever. Like, you know, we had all that. So like experience matters and knowledge is power, obviously.
Like accommodation location matters so much more than you think it does.
Yeah,
you know?
Because last year was hell. Because, you know, we were like, oh, it's a 15-minute walk, 5-minute or 2-minute bolt, you know, whatever. But like we kind of mentioned last time that after a certain time, all the drivers turn off their bolts, their Ubers, everything, and they only take cash, and they charge you like €20 minimum cash or whatever, no matter where you're going.
Yeah.
So and even if you want to pay that, it's literally near impossible because everyone's trying to fucking catch a taxi, you know, like a cab, wherever they want to go. So like not having to do, and then we'd have to literally have to stand on our feet for hours on end. We then have to do that whole 15-minute walk, which ends up being 20 because we're walking slower than normal to get back into the place, and it's just so long and jarring.
Chilly and
it's just jarring.
And
yeah, no, honestly, I think definitely try to get as close as possible, unless like one of you is the designated driver or whatever. You could get a car and do that. Then that's a whole different story. You can stay as far as you want, depending on whatever. But I would recommend definitely staying close. I think close is definitely the key. Like, you know, we stayed a little bit further, which isn't really that far if you think 15-20 minutes is really not that bad. And then we stayed literally at the stuff. So can't argue with that, honestly. And then obviously, like, you know, shout out Cathedral. That's like the club everyone goes to, pretty much, mix, whatever you want to call it. You know, like it's free inside. You know, upstairs they actually have a VIP area.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
I did, because there's always queues to go up there.
Yeah, the VIP balcony. I never deeped it. You don't have to pay. You can get in. It's a VIP. Like, you can pay if you're a guy, I'd say, but girls are getting in for free for sure. But no, I never deeped it. So like that's also a thing. But then there's a few other places, but no one, like, I think there's that Oceans Club. That's what it's called. That's another one that you have to pay to go upstairs there as well. Once again, we haven't seen that place because I'm already paying for too
paying
much.
To like go.
But you know, bare people pay.
Yeah, no,
that's crazy,
there are
like,
people that paid, so they have the demographic. It's just not me.
Yeah, but I know I'd actually like to see it, but who knows? I'll never see it again. So, but yeah, no, like definitely. I think that first night I think it's very good to go a few days before or stay a few days after as well, because we also did, because you have time to rev into it and rev out of it.
Yeah.
I think you need to allow yourself that time. We know some people who were staying even longer than that, you know, like they got even more time, and then when we got back they were still enjoying the sun, and we were like back here working and stuff. But definitely I think going a few days beforehand is definitely a shout, because last time we got there like one day beforehand, so we didn't even get to,
it was just,
you know.
But it was like, the thing is, if you get there like a day beforehand, the vibes are really high, you know, whereas now we got there like 2-3 days, whatever, and the vibes were just starting.
Yeah, they were just revving up. They're just revving up,
yeah.
Like the last year when we got there, like the party had already started, you know, which is like good and bad depending on who you are. But I like the idea of revving into it, you know, like getting up, getting the energy. And then we were fully into it then by the time Wednesday was there, you know, despite all our setbacks. And then obviously afterwards we were able to like chill, relax. Like that Saturday recovery was crucial. That was
so needed, like.
So crucial.
It was so
Sleep
needed.
deprivation, even if you don't drink, is a real thing.
Yeah.
Is a real, trust me. Yeah. It is a real thing, you know, so.
But yeah, and then on to like a bit of a highlight event that we didn't do last year, or like whatever. We went on a yacht in Dubai. No, just kidding. The guys rented a yacht, and the girls chipped in a little bit. But the guys mainly paid for it.
The guys. Let's not get it twisted.
We chipped in a little something.
Okay.
Which was like, it was so nice. Like, we all got there, whatever. They were meant to have more numbers. They didn't.
Well, actually, let me give you the intro of how this came up. There was one night I was back in Kerry, down in Tralee. I was with my boy, Lake and Pula, and it was like, I don't know, 2-3 a.m. or whatever. After like night out in Tralee, not even, we're just hanging around. And then we went to Phoenix, and we're just like, I drove to Phoenix, we're just chilling in the car. And then I'm not going to say whoever, because there's lots of speculation of who said it first. But it was tossed around that we should get a yacht. Like, that would be cool. Like, it would be a cool thing. Not that the first thing to say, it didn't say we should get a yacht. They're like, damn, a yacht would be cool, because we're talking about on that lines. And then another person, once again, I'm not going to mention, I know it was me, but it was like, we should get one for the trip. And then so I was like, cool, this is something we can do. And you know what? Me, at that moment, I was like, we're doing this. We're doing this. This is something we're doing. So literally that evening, I'm pretty sure, actually, that night, shout out to Pula. This was Pula, I do know, because he sent the text message into the group chat of like a boat, like click and boat, like places.
Well, he found it.
Like, he found the website, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then we couldn't use that option because it was whatever. And then the next day we looked at it, and then the one I was gonna get was booked out for Tuesday, but it was available for Wednesday. So we're like, let's just do it the day of the festival.
So let's talk about renting a yacht in Portugal. How much was it? How many people? What are the hidden costs?
It's not too bad, honestly. Like, you rent it. You can rent it for half a day. You can rent it for a full day. I didn't even see the half a day option, but we rented it for the full day anyway, which just means like 7 or 8 hours, like whatever. And like, there are different price variations for different ones. Like, the one we went for was 1.5, like all together kind of thing. So, or whatever it was. And then obviously, but that's just to rent it. And then you have to pay a €150 service fee if you want to bring your stuff on, because you have to use their like cups and stuff.
Your stuff, like drinks and food. And
like, and then you also still have to pay for fuel. So that ended up being like an additional $350. So that ended up coming to like $1,850 that we split across us, like whichever way we did. And so like it came out to like, you just round it up to like 2K or whatever, like, especially like if you add other things or whatever. But so like, obviously it's not a cheap thing. Like, make sure you
it depends, because how many people can you bring on? Like,
so on that one, we were able to bring on 17 people,
right,
in total.
So 17, like 2K divided by 17 is very doable.
It's very doable. Obviously, if you're splitting across each other or whatever. So like, don't worry about that. If you have the numbers, you can do it, like, kind of thing. So like, and definitely it is a fun experience. I think if you have the numbers and you have the people willing to do it, I think you should definitely do it, because like the content we got, the experience, it was definitely worth it. I think it was very fun.
Yeah.
Like, I literally said on the day, I was like, I now understand why rich people have boats, because I'm black. I don't give a shit about the fucking boats and shit like that, but being on a boat, like a nice big boat,
changes your perspective
on the sea with the sun hitting you, chilling. It does change your perspective a little bit. You're like, that's kind of nice,
Yeah.
It's chill. Like, I wouldn't do it. Like, I don't think, no matter how rich I would, I'd buy a boat. I think I would just rent, like, just like that, to do experiences in different places. But definitely, it is definitely a very nice experience. Like, it's very fun. It's very chill. You just have nice vibes. And then while we were there on the day, because the girls were meant to bring food, but they flopped on bringing food.
No, I need to explain. You've explained a lot. It was 11 a.m. that we were meant to be there, right? And
they've known for days, by the way.
No. Listen, because we didn't want to bring like cold, stale food. We were like, we need some sort of something. So I was like, in the morning when we were up, I was like, let's just order something. Like, pizza is the easiest, whatever. Tell me why there was like nothing open. Like, there was just nothing open. There was one place that was meant to be open 24/7, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Let me get on my order. I called like 5-6 times. They're not picking up. I can't order through the app either. So I'm like, Farouk, you live near there, instead of us going there, because we were it was coming up to 11. And Farouk was like, you walk over to the boat side. And then I was like, if you get the chance, go in and ask if you can order some, and we'll pay. Like, we'll pay for it. And they're like, what did I say to you? At 12 or something.
They said we had to wait an hour or whatever before they could start making the pizzas.
Which was ridiculous, because I was like, there's nothing I could do at that hour.
Sounds like bad planning to me. Let me not lie. Because my boys were told to bring the beverages, whether it was the alcohol for the girls, other drinks. And they delivered. Not only did they pay for the stuff they had to pay, they also brought the drinks.
We brought a bunch of snacks and fruit and like
and more of the story, they flopped.
Like that.
The girls flopped.
We didn't flop.
The girls flopped.
We did not flop.
They had one job: bring food. They didn't bring food.
I mean, hummus and crackers is food.
Snacks is not food. Anyway, they had one job, they flopped.
No, we brought...
And the boys who backed me up here, they flopped.
And we brought water. Y'all didn't bring a drop of water. We brought
because
6
we were like,
liters.
oh, you guys should bring water.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Even, like, one of your friends was like, oh, I actually didn't even think of bringing water.
Either way, they flopped.
We did not.
They flopped.
We did not flop.
But then the ingenuity of the boys, they asked the lovely captain of the boat, being like, hey, we need to probably get food because the girls flop on bringing food. So we got a taxi service. It was really cool. We got a boat to bring us from our boat to like the mainland to go get food at this restaurant. We booked a table for all of us. It was a big table because
I'm so glad we did that then.
You know, there's a big table of all of us all enjoying, having a good time. And then that boat then took us back to our boat for us to then finish off the rest of the day having a nice time, you know. So how can we complain? Like, we were on a boat, you know, besides the girls flopping.
I got a little bit seasick. So I am someone who gets motion sickness, even from cars and stuff. And then I did take a medicine beforehand that my friend gave me for motion sickness, and I still did start to feel a little sick. So I went to lay down in one of our bedrooms. And I was just like, let me just close my eyes for a little bit. And then when the boat stopped completely, I was fine. And it was such a good vibe because it stopped for a good while. So some of them were swimming, some of them were like chilling. It was just really
nice. No, like that's one thing. You're not like moving the whole time. What they'll do, like you can bring your own route, ask them to do a route, but then we just told them, hey, yo, Manuel, just take us wherever is nice, you know. And then so he took us to a few places, stopped, let us, you know, swim around. Mm-hmm. You know, I did not swim around. I got pushed into the water and like went right back out because screw swimming around. Once again, I'm black.
It was warm enough to dry up.
Yeah, it was. So. And there was a shower on the boat to like wash all that nasty ass seawater off you, fucking stinging. But so we were on there, you know, we washed, rinsed off, whatever. So, you know, had a good time, then did it again after food, you know, saw the caves from afar because we were running out of time because we did spend like an hour and a half eating, you know, because the girls flop. And so, you know, we're just
actually, I'm glad that happened because I didn't even pay for my own food and it was just like a nicer vibe. So
so anyway, moral of the story.
Do you know we're half an hour into this episode and we haven't even spoken about Afronation?
Yeah, let me not lie. That part is going to be quick because there is really nothing to talk about. Like,
that's true.
Like, there's nothing new, nothing that you haven't heard, to be honest. So, like, you know.
So let's talk about, I guess, we got the general admission tickets. Yeah. I do not recommend the VIP, and I've seen a lot of TikToks of people complaining that the VIP didn't get them access to, like, you know, closer to the stage or whatever. But there's like differences here.
They literally said there's a golden circle. Like, I don't know what you talk, like, because we had VIP last year because we got a free upgrade because our tickets were delayed, and even last year I was like, it was dead. That's why this year we said let's just get general admission
because the VIP areas are quite like far and kind of like secluded, and you're away from the festival, which is like, why would you want to be there? What's the point of that? And also, it's not faster entry. You're going in with the general admissions as well.
Well, no, you have your own lane. They have their own lane.
Because they were saying it was still long or whatever.
No, they have their own lane, but it's still long, like, because there's still a lot of them.
Anyways, so we got the general admission because we knew from last year that it wasn't worth it. I say the golden circle would be worth it if you want to be up close to the stage, but then like you have to go out of there to go to the. Well, I guess they have their own.
From what I've seen, it seems golden circle is worth it. Yeah. If you especially if you want to be close up to to the artist, it is absolutely worth it. So. But
you're not close to the Amapiano stage if that's what you're interested in.
No, they have their own thing as well. I think.
No, the Amapiano stage is right. We're right next to it.
You're right next to it. You're right. Yeah, no. So it's just for the main stage. If you're interested in Amapiano stage and Golden Circle, it's not worth it. But if you're interested in whatever, but let's be honest, you're not going to see most of the acts anyway.
Well, it depends because there are a lot of people who did go like very early on,
which is weird. What are you doing?
I don't know. I get because you paid to be there at the festival, so you're at the festival.
No, it's for the whole experience.
Yeah. Meanwhile, us like we came off the yacht on the first day, and the first artist was already on. So like we needed to go back, and like I said, from our balcony, we were able to see who was playing or whatever, and we got ready, and then we had some drinks, and we ate a little. There's just a lot of steps before actually going into the festival. So the sun was like already setting by the time we were heading there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I guess we should probably talk about it is the sound system was also shit again this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what sound guys they have. Like some artists were great sound. Some artists were shit sound. I don't know if they're changing sound teams or whatever the fuck they're doing, but you need to pan that out, because how can some artists be sounding ass on some speakers and sounding okay on other speakers? Like,
and the speakers
crazy.
weren't in sync. So if you were kind of in the middle, if you're at the front or the very back, it was fine. But if you're somewhere in the middle, the music was like out of sync. So you were hearing some beats faster, some slower. I have a video of like Arya Starr singing, and it was just shambles.
Nah, it's insane. Like, I don't know. And a lot of people complain about that. Like, you know, Wizkid got shafted again. I don't know if it was the speaker I was at his, like, it just wasn't working for him. Because funny enough, now that I think about it, last year I was at the same speaker, actually. Maybe that speaker is just a problem. Anyway, but yeah, Wizkid got shafted.
But no, because last year Wizkid got pissed and he stopped even performing.
Yeah, actually, last year was way worse. I think, once again, if you're close to the stage, it doesn't matter. Those speakers are good. I think it's if you're further back, like, that's where it starts getting wonky. And some people had the worst experience than others. Because some people were like, oh, wait, there was no issues for me. And some people were like, oh, there was a lot of issues. So I think it really depends on what speaker you're at.
The fact that anyone's even experiencing any, like, you know, shambles sound quality, that just says a lot.
That's insane.
Just don't
for
do
what
that.
You're
just
paying.
don't
like,
do that.
Like, so, you know, like, you think they'd have the patent that everything's working perfectly, but obviously these things happen. It's a big festival. There are lots of speakers are blasting music through, and it makes a big difference. One thing that it is a negative, though, that I did not like is last year, in between sets, they had DJs on the main stage playing music. This time, there was no DJs in between sets playing music to, like, you know, hype the crowd. The only music you could hear was from the Sky Terrace. And I think because they had their own designated DJ the whole time, which is kind of crazy to me, let me not lie. Because, like, oh my God. So, like, if you're not near the Sky, like, we were near the Sky Terrace the whole time. So we were listening to music, enjoying it. But if you're not, you're just sitting in silence.
Yeah.
Listening to your
there
thoughts.
was some uns music at one point, and people were like, what?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It was so fucking weird, let me not lie. So definitely, yeah, like the whole Afronation experience on its own, definitely not as good as last year, I personally find. Like the Afronation on its own. But the whole thing, as like the whole trip, was definitely enjoyable, was very enjoyable. So definitely one of those things. But
I think for me, like, another annoying part was that the toilets were all in one area this time. They weren't like split up, so everyone had to like walk all the way over to one side. That was very annoying. But then what I did like this year was that I spent a lot more time at the Amapiano stage, and the sound quality was great. The acts were amazing. I felt like there wasn't a moment of silence there. The crowd wasn't like, you know, kind of, I was packed, so you had like space to dance and like whatever. And I just felt like that stage was so much more hype, and there was just no issues, and it was so good. And Uncle Waffles was amazing, and Dali Manga was amazing, and all these artists. And I was happier to be there than the main stage, honestly.
Yeah, no, the Amapiano stage is really lit. Definitely would recommend. I say definitely, if you can check it out, it is definitely absolutely worth it. Like, it's fun. Like, and I'm a piano to the world, you know, it's pretty good. Yeah, like everyone's catching it now, you know, everyone's enjoying the vibes.
Yeah.
So definitely, but yeah, no, that's pretty much our take, I think, on Afro. Like, do you have any tips you'd give now that you're a veteran, you're not, whether you go again, whether you don't go again, what's the story? Like, what's your tips?
I think definitely go if you're thinking of going. It's such a nice experience to be around the area. Like, even if you don't go to the festival, like, nights out are crazy. There's so much fun, so many beautiful people. Like, it's just really nice vibes during the day, during the evening, during midday, like any time of day. I feel like it's just really high spirits, nice vibes, and the music is really good everywhere you go. So it's not just a festival, it's like the restaurants are playing it, like, you know, clubs are playing it everywhere. You know, it's just like a good time. And I think if you have a group of friends, or even if you don't, I've seen some people that went by themselves.
Yeah, I saw on TikTok, like, this girl went by herself and she found people to hang around with.
Like, you will find people to hang around with. Everyone
Absolutely.
is there to, you know, make friends, connect, like whatever. So I think go. If you're thinking of going, just go. Now that I've been, I don't think I will go again. I think I'd like to see something different. I'd like a different experience, or do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the music is good, whatever, but you can find these kind of events in other places.
Yeah,
like,
lots of different
we
places.
could go to Accra in Ghana. We could go to Lagos. We could go to Afronation. I don't know that I go to Afronation Miami. That just seems like the crowd just wasn't.
No, screw that. I don't think I would go again because I've already done it twice. I think I've done it enough times, and I don't think it's an experience I need to have every time now. Every year, I think I want to do other things, just like Nicoletta said. You know, like there's lots of places that do lots of things, and I think it's one of those things. But I think if you've never gone before, it's definitely worth going, because I think you will enjoy your first time.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously it'll never be the same as when we went. Like the second time, the first time, unbeatable. But you know, it will be your first time, and bet it's time, you know, like you'll enjoy it. And I think that's what matters. Like everyone, and I'm only joking, like everyone always says like, oh my god, no, Afronation will never be as good as the first year, and Afronation will be, it doesn't matter.
It's your first year, not
Afronation
everyone else's.
will always be good as for you if you've never been there. You know, you have nothing to compare it to. You know, you're gonna enjoy yourself, you're gonna have a great time, there's great vibes, there's great people, everything, you know. So definitely would recommend that if you've never gone, that you should go. They should honestly sponsor me for even shouting them out like this. Let me not lie, after they did me dirty with those sound system, you know, for Wiz, because I was actually looking forward to Wiz a lot. But you know, it is what it is.
But like also, if you're not into Afro beat or into that kind of music, there's Rolling Loud on the exact same beach, and if that is more your vibe,
do not recommend.
But that if that is your vibe, and the pushing and shoving and like getting rowdy, that is your vibe, that is also an option there, and the vibes are the same if that's what you're into. You know what I mean? Like if you're into rap music, you will hear it everywhere. The restaurants will play it.
Okay, like, music is the same, not the vibes.
No, but the vibe that, like, I feel like rap festivals have a vibe, and that's being carried throughout the day.
It's don't know rowdy. If Rolling Loud portrays that. Like I feel like
Rolling Loud is always
Rolling
rowdy.
Loud Miami portrays what the actual rap festival vibe is like.
It's rowdy AF
but
though.
Rolling Loud Portugal,
it's still rowdy. It's a lot of the UK Irish crowds that show up as well. So, you know, you'll hear a lot.
Do that information as you will.
As you will.
So.
So yeah, that is also on the same beach. So like, you know what I mean? If you want to stay for both, if you want to go to one or the other, I think we've made it very clear that by not going this year, that we don't want to go
it's
again.
Ass, bro. It's ass. And I'm not going to touch into it because you can hear what I said about it last year. Watch the episode. Give us a free view. It is ass. I do not want to go to Rolling Loud Portugal. I want to go to Rolling Loud Miami, but not Portugal.
Yeah.
God.
I think I'm over that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was. Do you have any last advice, tips?
Just enjoy it, bro. Like, life is short. Just enjoy yourself, you know. Just be doing experiences, chopping small, having the shayo, all that thing, you know. Do whatever. I don't care. Just have a fun time so that when you look back in your life, when you're old, you'd be like, okay, I actually chopped small, you know. You know, chop small, chop big, whatever you want, you know. So, like, definitely that's my recommendation. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know if you have any questions. If you want any, like, whatever, like, specific questions about the trip, accommodation, whatever, put it down in the comment section, wherever it is you're watching this, whatever.
Reach out on Instagram.
I reach out on Instagram, DM, all that stuff. I will reply to you, let you know what ones, you know? So, but besides that.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to
like, subscribe, the whole shebang.
Comment, all that good stuff.
And do that
Till
thing.
next time.
Peace.